Hi, I'm Rinda.
Hi, I'm Jim.
We're Heartiness Approach. We have had a week, and we kept going, we should have the camera. And we didn't.
We didn't. Lots of wind. It would have been really hard to get good sound. And even today, we have to be in this hoop house to cut down the wind a little bit.
So, let's start with a week ago. We processed 63 chickens and 7 turkeys.
Yes.
And it was 2 days. We did it with Connie and Tim. 27 of them into...
One day to get them ready, the next day to package them.
So what we did was we packaged them. Instead of putting them into the shrink wrap and doing them whole, we actually had a day where we took them and we didn't. Come on. He tried, but he got a cut like the first chicken.
No, third.
Anyway, Tim and his son-in-law are amazing chicken cutters.
They're really fast.
And so we divided the drumsticks and the thighs. We had those together. All the wings, the breast we cut off. And then we put all the carcasses in one container so that we could do soup with those later. So we have bags of drumsticks and dark meat. We have bags of wings so that we can do wings. And then we put some of our breasts into containers, but majority of them we took them over to our son-in-law and used his grinder and made turkey burger with them.
A lot more effort to get them packaged than just slipping them in the bag and shrink wrapping it. But come time to use them, you thaw them and cook them.
Oh, my word.
It's not a lot to it.
And we've already tried one of the chicken breasts that was frozen, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this is such a great way to do it, because now we have a freezer full of all this packaged food, and it's great.
Yeah.
But
here today, we're in this hoop house.
Yes, we are. I would like to show you the difference between 3 identical plants. So, I'm going to show you the best first. Nope, we'll show you the ones that we put in our daughter's garden.
Which have been outside, exposed to the elements.
We've covered them, we've done everything with them, and they're still living. But they're little puny ones. Then we had some that we put in our bags that we'd take inside and put in the shower in the humidity when it got cold. And then we have the ones that are here. All of these plants are called Oregon Spring. They're determinates. They're from territorial seeds, and I grew them from a baby seed.
A baby seed.
A baby seed. So we are kind of sold on hoop houses. What other things did we do this week?
We got ready to go on vacation.
Well, no, before that.
I don't know.
I had a birthday.
Oh, yeah, she did. And she was surprised.
I had so many things that happened, even from the very, very beginning of the morning until I got to work, until I got to the next work, until my husband and my daughter and babies picked me up after work and took me to dinner, to going to the house, and then I'll show you what I got. It's pretty amazing. So I had done some research on, we have done research on breathing correctly.
Yes.
And the importance of being able to take deep...
Whether you're exercising, doing yoga, or other activities.
Yeah, the importance of doing those deep breathing and how good they are for your body, and learning how, if you go back and look at, not Aborigines, but you know, people who are living really long. And
how do we go back and look at them?
Well, no, they're still living. They're they breathe differently than we do. Well, they live long.
Us Westerners are shallow breathers.
We are.
Yeah.
And that's what the people in Hawaii, Oahu,
I'm not sure.
Say their greeting?
Oh, aloha.
Allahu. They say aloha means Westerners breathe shallow. Shallow breather. I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to learn to breathe right, and so I was doing some research on it about 6 months ago, and saw that if you learn to play a woodwind instrument, that you could expand this in here. So first I was going to play a flute, and my son said, don't do that. It's super, super, super hard. He played the clarinet and the saxophone and stuff like that. And I played this clarinet when I was in the 3rd grade. There's not a lot of memory left in here for that. Anyway, I got it because this man bought it for me. It's amazing. And I was able to actually make a sound. I'll see if I can do that for you. And just barely started learning it.
She made lots of sounds. She's talking about a good sound.
Yeah, it was. You start with a squeak, and then when it goes into the deep sound, you're like, oh. But you inhale in a special way, and you exhale, and the note just goes long, and you fill your lungs. And when I was done, I was like, whoa! Don't expect much. I was just doing it, right, Jim?
She was.
It's for breathing. It's not for performing. And you don't even do it like I just did, like I was going, you don't do that. You take a deep breath. Anyway, you take it and it just, I mean, you could feel the breath going all the way down. So this is like yoga for my lungs. So he was out on the front porch playing his banjo, and I was inside doing with the internet, teaching me how to do everything. It was pretty cool.
Now, unfortunately, playing the banjo, left-hand stuff doesn't happen right now. So.
Oh, how are you doing that then?
Just doing the right-hand stuff.
Oh, yeah. And yeah. Huh, I'm sorry. So that was midweek. And that was Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday.
The 11th.
The 11th. And then, besides doing homework, we have been getting ready for our incredible vacation.
Which we haven't vacationed for a while, so we were way not ready.
We have not vacationed for over 3 years since we left Oregon. And we had to get everything
All
ready.
of our camping things are in disarray. Some of the items that can be outdated are outdated. They expired. And the mixture wasn't quite right. There were things that didn't need to be there.
So we're going to show you our car and what we've done to it, and it's really exciting. Our Yukon, because that's what we're doing, and we're going to Lake Tahoe.
Yes.
Yes, we're so excited. You want to tell them about how we got this reservation?
Well, first of all, things had just opened up reservation-wise. And as we were looking, previous to whatever day it finally opened up, everything was closed. And then all of a sudden, things were open. But we needed 4 nights, and we can only find the first 2, and everything else was full. And I'm like, I don't want to go for 2 days and then try to figure it out. That's really tough sometimes to do, with things being so full. So we kept looking and trying to find a combination.
Like over an hour.
A couple here, a couple there. And finally, all of a sudden, at the campground we'd really wanted, there was one campsite that had all 4 days that were open.
Somebody canceled.
Yeah,
and it just shot to the top.
So we jumped on it.
We just took it. And we've told people where we're going, and they're like, you're gonna love it. We're taking our bikes, and we're taking books and our lounge chairs. That's the extent of it. It's gonna be awesome. I want to talk a little bit about food and the discoveries that I've made this week with food. And I'm just going to talk about supplements. In my course, I'm learning about which supplements you may need to take and how to take them and how to find them. I haven't gotten through all of that yet, so I cannot share that all with you yet. But I have found 3 supplements that if you take them in the large amounts that people are used to taking them, and that even that some of the doctors are prescribing them, that they can cause greater problems. So I'm just going to give you 3 of them, and then I am hoping to be able to sit and write about it on my website and put some stuff together for it. Calcium, we all know that you really aren't asked to take the calcium amounts that you were asked to take anymore. Most of it went into the garbage because it just went through you.
Your body just doesn't break it down.
Right, but if you do figure out the right calcium that you could take that would be absorbed, too much calcium messes with your heart, because the bones is only a tiny part of what calcium does to your body. It has a huge bearing on your heart and your arteries and all of that, and the excess goes into the arteries for the calcium buildup, which causes strokes, basically. So we're not to take large doses of calcium supplements. The other one is vitamin D.
But underscore that.
I will.
Nat,
I'm gonna underscore.
Coming back to
I'm
that.
gonna come back to that. The second one is vitamin D. He actually was prescribed vitamin D by his doctor, and who happens to work at my building, and I took my scientific article into him, and he goes, whoa. So you are not to be taking large doses of vitamin D, really not over 2,000, 400 to 6,000
milligrams.
400 milligrams to 2,000 milligrams is really the most that you should take. And doctors are prescribing 4,000, and for most of the people in the nursing homes, they're prescribing 10,000. And what they are finding is the higher the dose of vitamin D, which helps your calcium work, the larger the bone mass loss. So yeah, exactly what we're trying to do in order to increase our bones. That large amount of supplement for vitamin D is decreasing the bone mass. So that's number 2. Number 3 is antioxidants. Taking antioxidants supplements in large portions, and I'm not even sure what that large portion is. This one I just started learning about, is increasing your chance of having cancer instead of decreasing the chance of having cancer. Now, I've just told you about calcium, vitamin D, and antioxidants. All 3 supplements can cause problems. What the research shows is that taking any one of those with all natural food and getting them from your food, you can eat tons of food and nothing bad will happen. There's no bone loss with vitamin D and being able to do it. There's no bad things with the heart, with the calcium, and there's nothing bad with antioxidants when you eat it from food. Bottom line, as we have known forever, you need to get your supplements from food as much as you can, and that's why we grow food. That's why we do that.
Now, the other part of this that she's been learning about, and this is specifically related to zinc, but the nutrient density of foods is quite variable, and it really depends on the soil that they're in, what's in the soil. If the nutrients aren't in the soil, they don't get into the food, which means they don't get into your body. So they have to be there, and in the case of zinc, that's a big deal. A lot of times, much of what's grown is deficient in zinc, and zinc is another crucial element that it's got to be there. And when it's not in the soil, it doesn't get in your food, and when it doesn't get in your food, you lack it. And
then I'll talk about the next part, but I wanted to go back to the food, the soil. We always do complete organic fertilizer from Steve Solomon,
Either the purchasing of it or the recipe.
We usually make the recipe of it, and we had all the bags of it. So I'm like, well, does Complete Organic Fertilizer have zinc in it? And I went on, and no, it does not. It doesn't have several of the minerals.
No, but you didn't look at Steve Solomon's. You just looked at the definition off of Google.
Right.
Okay? Steve's does. His puts zinc in.
Did you look at that?
Yeah, I remember us finding zinc.
Bottom line is you have to put these minerals into your fertilizer in order to be able to get it into your soil, to get it into your food, to get it into you.
When she says fertilizer, she's not talking about some high phosphorus.
No, no, no. You don't want high phosphorus at all. Okay.
Not for normal vegetable growth.
Well, and high phosphorus cancels out the zinc too.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Last thing that we learned. For my course, I had to take a zinc test. It's a special bottle of aqueous zinc, and there's directions on how you do it. So I thought, okay, I'll do it for my paper. I'll take it. It's going to give me this bitter taste within a few seconds, and then I'll know that I'm really good on zinc. If you don't have any taste within 15 seconds and it just tastes like water, then you're very zinc deficient. Well, I am moderate zinc deficient, and he is very zinc deficient. And we're like, what in the world? We eat so well. What are you talking about? And there is this thing that we've kind of heard about, known about, and ignored called phytates. Phytates is in your vegetables, and it's in your nuts and your seeds. We overdose on nuts and seeds. And we know that you're supposed to soak them, dehydrate them, and then re-roast them, and we just only did that one time.
We didn't understand how crucial it was.
We didn't. So the phytates go and they bind the zinc. Their ions hook to the zinc ions.
And make a very stable substance.
Super stable.
They won't come apart.
So that they go through and they cannot absorb the zinc into your body. So even though we've been eating all the vegetables and the meat, and a normal diet will counter the phytates. It will counter them. You'll have plenty. But we eat so many nuts and seeds that we bound our zinc. And so we have to go back to soaking, dehydrating, and roasting.
Yeah, and this makes us wonder. I mean, this is zinc that we're talking about, but what else?
Iron is the same way.
Right.
Can be.
So a lot of the minerals that we need, the nutrition that we need, we're overdoing. Instead of having the balance, we're doing too much of some eating. Some foods. So we do not show all the deficiencies of zinc. Zinc is an extremely important nutrient. It has to do with DNA. It helps with your basal temperature, your basal metabolism. It helps with making your sex organs. You can, but a lot of different, some of the deficiencies you're going to show skin rashes, which I do have some of those. But I don't have diarrhea. I don't have, what are some of the big ones? I don't think you have to have all the symptoms.
No, in fact, it said, I was reading another scientific journal, and it said that you can have a zinc deficiency for a long time without it showing up.
Okay.
So that was a red flag for us.
So once again, eating right is not enough. Sometimes you've got to have a variety and a balance. And our variety has been fairly good, not as good as it should be. The balance has been horrible. Yeah,
so we need to fix that. And don't worry about it being in your vegetables. Most of it rinses out or cooks out. But one thing I did not know, let me just tell this really important thing. The reason you want to sprout your grains, and is because you want to get rid of the phytates in our grains, you either need to soak them for about 18 hours, sprout them, or ferment them. And you can even do that with quinoa. I did not know that quinoa is high in phytates too. So any grain, that's why we want to sprout them. And so, wow, what a week of information this has been for us.
So if you're not sprouting them, don't eat large quantities of them, because they will outbalance.
They'll bind up your
Yeah.
minerals so that you don't get them. I know some of you may not be interested in that whatsoever, but some of our true and valiant people want to know these things.
Well, it's important to know if you're not succeeding at your efforts to get as healthy as you want to get, the
There
secret.
may be some underlying things.
You may be doing a lot of things right, a lot of eating right, a lot of habits right, but you got to look at the whole picture, and that's what we're learning. We're getting down into the weeds on this, and really starting to get the details of why we're not to the point we want to be, why we still have some issues.
Right.
We're solving them.
We're going to take the camera with us, both of them. He's getting back into photography, which is really great. And we're having a surprise party today for our daughter. She graduated with twins and a bachelor's degree in nursing. So she's been an RN for 3 years, but she did the RN to BSN while she was pregnant and taking care of babies.
And working.
So we're having a surprise party for her today. And we'll take the camera with us on our vacation. See you guys. Thanks.